Marty Kinkar via shopdapp.com says, what is your take on fuel additives? Things like VP Octane Booster. The drag racers do use them, but will it add power to the modern Mark 7 TSI engine, or is it harmful instead? Does the ECU even it out instead and there are no gains?
All right, so Marty, let's start with fuel additives. So the fuel additive component to this is much more broad than the octane booster question. So fuel additives, it really depends on what your purpose is. There's a company called BG, they make a product called 44K. It's meant for cleaning fuel systems, cleaning injectors, cleaning a lot of things in that system. And I have had good experience with that over the years, so I recommend that product to a lot of people because it is a good product, but it's not really intended for power. So if you're looking for a way to raise power on cars, octane boosters are not a great way to try and get more power to your car. And here's why. The fuel in your car by itself does not dictate the amount of power it puts out. The reason why some higher performance cars require race fuels or high octane fuels is actually based on the way they're tuned and not the fuel. So the fuel is really just the necessity to make the power, and the fuel doesn't equal the power, because if the car wasn't tuned to accommodate or require that type of fuel at a higher octane, it's not going to change anything. Higher octanes actually just burn slower, so they have less issue with knocking, engine knock, which if you have, or pre-ignition, so that's when the mixture in the combustion chamber as the piston's coming up will ignite from the pressure in the cylinder before the spark plug hits, and that way obviously the piston is starting to go down when the actual spark plug does fire, which obviously is super bad for the engine because it's not operating properly. So that is the main reason why you would have higher octane fuels, is to prevent pre-ignition and then detonation, because that can be really damaging to engines. So if you took a really low horsepower car and put, let's say, race fuel in it, it's not really going to make a lot more power. It's not going to change the way the engine is tuned and make it a much faster car. So octane boosters are not something that I recommend for most people. And also, and I think this to be true, and you'd have to look into this a little bit further, as far as I know, dollar for dollar, an octane booster relative to the cost of upgrading the fuel, let's say if you had 87 and you put an octane booster in it to bring it to 93, the cost to run additives to get you to 93 outweigh the cost of the actual fuel itself. So that's just what I believe. I'm not sure if that's 100% true. So anybody who has any comments about that, make sure you leave it in the comments below if you have more details about the pricing component on fuel additives. Thank you so much for watching. If you know somebody who could benefit from the information talked about in this video, be sure to share with them. For parts for your VW or Audi, check out shopdapp.com.